Welcome to the Janie's Way podcast. Today, we're excited to have the amazing Joe Apfelbaum with us. He's not just an author, but a dynamic speaker, LinkedIn authority, AI expert, and of course, an entrepreneur. Get ready for a great chat as we explore high-energy networking, finding your purpose, and mastering LinkedIn for mega success. Let's give a warm welcome to Joe Apfelbaum. Yeah, I'm so happy to see you on this podcast with me, and I want to bring your wisdoms and your expertise to listeners. So tell us, how did you get an entrepreneur's journey? I feel like you've been doing it for a very long time.
So with my particular business, Ajax Union, the digital marketing agency, I've been doing that for 15 years, 15 years. My evergreen business where I train people on how to use LinkedIn and how to use AI, I've been doing that for 3 years. And my new software, I literally just launched a few months ago. So really excited about being on this journey and all the different things that I've learned along the way to be able to apply to my new business.
You're continuously innovating and continuously doing new things. Is it scary sometimes? How do you get through the fears of failure when you're already successful in so many areas? How do you get through that fear?
Well, coaching is one of the ways that you can get over fear as an entrepreneur, getting coached, getting support, reading books, taking courses, failing. Failing is the number one method to scaling. If you really want to scale your business, you got to fail fast and get back up and learn from your failures and iterate. And that's really one of the keys to success is actually failure. A lot of people think that people that are successful just got lucky, but the truth is luck is a four-letter word, and that's all what it is. It's not your method and path to success. Work is also a four-letter word. And if you combine work and luck, then you have the opportunity to be able to get to where you want to do, especially if you introduce strategy to it as well. So the right strategy will save you a decade. And I would say that it's more about strategy than anything else, but you also have to do the work. You got to take action, and you also have to have some element of being lucky, having the right idea at the right time. And, sometimes it just doesn't catch fire and you have to keep trying and trying. Some people didn't make it till their 30s, some people till their 40s. Most people don't make it till their 50s, 60s, and 70s. So that's why it's also important to stay healthy, because you don't know when's going to be your last day.
That is so true. What are the things you do to stay healthy on a daily basis? What works for you?
So number one is making sure you drink enough water. A 5% drop in hydration is a 30% drop in energy. So that's the first thing. If you're not
Wow.
drinking enough water, you're probably dehydrated. The next thing I would tell you that you need to do is making sure that you're eating the right foods. If you're eating the wrong foods, you're not gonna be able to have the right energy, and you're gonna be able to get sugar rushes and things like that. Um, Making sure that you have enough salt in your system, enough electrolytes, sodium, magnesium, calcium, and so on. Potassium is really important in order to be healthy. And having the right mindset, being positive, hanging around other people that are positive, grounding yourself in nature. These are all the things that I practice every day. If you understand your health, then you can truly be wealthy, because you can't have wealth without health. That doesn't work.
Yeah, you can have all the money in the world if you don't have energy to enjoy it. What's the point of that, right?
Exactly. There is no.
As an entrepreneur, thanks to Joe for pointing out, you have to spend time with yourself, and you have to spend time making sure you are well balanced, and self-care is a big important thing. I know for me, like for example, I try to go to the gym, maybe not every day, because we don't have time to do that. Well, I don't, busy like everybody else, but a couple of days a week. And I try to do different things. We're lifting weights, maybe Zumba, like yesterday I went to the pool, different things I try to do. Eat healthy. I'm guilty of not drinking enough water every day, for sure.
Most people aren't.
We forget, but so statistic, what you pointed out is kind of a shock. If you drop in your water level. It's so easy to get dehydrated. And people also forget about electrolytes. That's another excellent point. If you don't have a well-balanced diet, like potassium and sodium is extremely important for your heart health. Yeah, yeah. That's so great points. I want to figure out, how did you just woke up one day and said, I want to be an entrepreneur and I want to be creating businesses and creating jobs and creating software? Or is it just kind of came about by inspiring somebody inspired you? How did that came about?
Well, I would say the first thing is that I watched my mother try to build her store for a decade on the Lower East Side, and eventually she went out of business. So I was a little traumatized by that. For me, it was more about just being really good at skills. I just wanted to focus on like, how can I improve my skills? How can I get really good at doing things? So I got really good at web design. I got really good at search engine optimization. I got really good at marketing. I got really good at eventually people. I got really good at connecting with people and building relationships and networking and leading and growing. And the more I grew, the more I was like shifted from skills of doing things for other people instead of doing skills of being a better leader, being better emotionally, mentally, spiritually, being a better speaker. I used to be afraid of public speaking. Now I'm a professional speaker. I was just hired to speak in Arizona. I went down and I trained 200 CEOs on how to use artificial intelligence. The week before, I was flown down to Orlando and I spoke in front of 390 professionals on how to use AI for their business development. So people are hiring me to speak and they're paying me and they're flying me down, putting me on a hotel, paying me to speak. Why? Because I worked on myself. So I became an asset to society by learning skills, by improving them, improving myself. So I would say the number one thing that stops people from growing their business is they stop growing themselves. So if you want to grow your business, you can only grow your business as much as you grow yourself. So I highly recommend working on making sure that you're able to grow yourself, that you're able to take your life and your business to the next level by improving how you show up in life.
What they say, how you show up on one thing, that's how you show up everywhere. Something along the
That's what
line.
they say. I don't know if that's true, but the way you do one thing is the way you do everything. But, like I would say it's just very powerful.
So start with yourself, work on yourself, and as you work on yourself and you better yourself, then you'll be able to connect with people better. Probably will have more focus to acquire new skills or get better at the skills you already have.
True.
That's
True.
that's so excellent. All those points are excellent. Can you tell the listeners a little bit about your high energy marketing book?
So High Energy Marketing is a book that I wrote because people started asking me, Joe, can you tell me more about marketing? Can you tell me how will you be successful with marketing? What do you need to do? And so I said, you know what? Let me share my experience on how to create a marketing strategy, how to build a marketing funnel, what the different strategies for sending traffic to your funnel is, how does digital marketing work from A to Z? And so I just explain an overview of that in the book, High Energy Marketing. I've written 5 books, and that's one of the books that I'm really proud of. I actually have a podcast. If you go to ajaxunion.com/podcast, it's called the High Energy Marketing Podcast, where I kind of talk about the elements in the book. So if you want to listen to it, you could just go to the podcast and listen to it there.
So what would you say the top 3 strategies for
Number
just
one is pick your target market. You got to have the right target market. A lot of people have the wrong target market and then they wonder why they're not successful. Number two is make sure that before you do anything, you have the right messaging, making sure that you understand the pains and goals of your customers, their dreams and their fears is really important. You can have AI help you understand that, help you make sense out of it. Most people never do that. And so they don't get the right messaging and then they're sending wrong messaging to the wrong clients. And then number three, the third tip would be is build a marketing funnel. That means that there are people that just don't even know who you are. They're not ready to buy from you yet. So wait and nurture them by building a funnel. The top of the funnel is usually very wide and the bottom of the funnel is very narrow. There are going to be 1,000, 2,000, a million people on the top of the funnel. Middle of the funnel is where they build trust. Bottom of the funnel is where they buy. So put them on the top of the funnel, create the right messaging to the right target market on the top of the funnel, then move them to the middle of the funnel. Maybe you'll give them case studies and stories and webinars and things in the middle of the funnel. And the bottom of the funnel is where you set up a meeting, you talk to them and close them. So that's really how you want to be able to approach it. If you try to set up a meeting and try to close somebody on the top of the funnel, usually you'll lose them, you'll get annoyed, and that's where people hate being sold. And the bottom of the funnel is where people love to buy.
So develop their trust, right?
Yeah. Nurture them, develop the trust, educate them, and go where they are. You know, if somebody's not ready to buy right now, that's totally fine. They'll eventually be ready to buy. And if you don't try to sell them when they're not ready to buy, when they are ready to buy, they'll want to buy.
Well, when you say that people can't decide on one niche, they have like 2 or 3 different target audience. How confusing can that get?
I would say focus on one. You can have many target audiences, but when you're doing outbound marketing, you want to focus on one target market initially. And then from there, you can see if you got traction, great. If you didn't get traction, maybe you want to change to another one.
How long should they give it? 3 to 6
90
months?
days.
90.
90 days. Yeah.
Start with one, try for 90 days, tweak some messaging, and if there's no traction, there may be a slightly different niche. Maybe some will close.
Slightly different niche, or try to ask yourself, did you put enough energy behind it? Like,
Ah,
did you actually if you reach out to one person in 90 days, it doesn't make any sense. Did you reach out to 100? Did you reach out to 1,000? Did you reach out to 10,000? Depending on how big the niche is and what your messaging was and how long it takes for the life cycle of a customer. So it would all depend on all those things.
okay. So did you reach out into enough people before you can say, oh, it's not working? Because I hear a lot of it said it's not working. Well, what did you try? How many people you talked to? And that's all. And did you have enough energy? Did you set yourself for success in the morning so you can create the correct messaging? Did you use all the tools like Joe was saying? Did you maybe sign up with the coach or took some of the Joe's programming to help you with AI? AI is amazing. How did you get into a loving part of being all the moment at the upfront where it is just pretty much started? You started working with AI way before it's become so popular mainstream.
And became really popular and mainstream because it got on the news as one of the fastest growing softwares in the world. You know, 1 million users in 5 days, 100 million users in 2 months. For me, I would say I've been using it for a decade at least. Everything from appointment setting using X.AI to Lunch Club, automatic networking with AI. I mean, everything Google's AI. I mean, just, you know, I even had Google Glasses when they came out a decade ago. You know, like I spent $1,000 on it. So constantly using artificial intelligence, constantly messing with different robots and chatbots and using Drift and using, you know, there's lots of tools out there that you can use even before this was a thing. But now it's, you know, with the speed of computers and with the GPT 3.5 and GPT 4, extremely powerful. So highly recommend testing out the tools now that are available now that weren't available a year ago.
And interesting, you said that there are so many tools available. How would people know which top 2 or 3 or 4 to use? Because there's so many of them.
Course, I would say, yeah, I would say take a course. We have one, newaicourse.com, newaicourse.com, and we have over 2 dozen different tools that we teach you out of the 10,000 that are available. It really boils down to what problem do you want to solve in your business. So if you want to solve problems around graphic design, image generation, so find tools related to that. If you want an assistant to help you with things, find an assistant. If you want content creation, use Jasper, copy.ai. You know, there are very popular tools. If you need a LinkedIn AI assistant, we created one called Evy AI, EVYAI. You can go to evyai.com and you can start writing a LinkedIn post in a matter of seconds. You just write the topic you want to write about, and boom, a LinkedIn post appears. And it's just so powerful to leverage AI to solve specific issues in your business as opposed to just being general.
What do you think will happen to people there and decided, oh, I don't want to deal with AI. It's taking jobs away.
It's not taking jobs away. What it's doing is it's enabling people to get better jobs, as a matter of fact. If you learn how to use AI, you'll realize that there's a very big difference between using artificial intelligence for the sake of using it and using artificial intelligence with a purpose. People that are using it with a purpose to enhance their jobs, that becomes really powerful. If you're just using it to waste time, you can just go around, spin your head doing it. But AI is not going to replace jobs. People that know how to use AI will replace the jobs of people that don't know how to use AI. Simple as that. That is really the key there. People that know how to use AI will replace people that don't know how to use AI.
That's so true. I've heard a couple of big copywriters that say I will incorporate, and it's just helped me to become better and faster. I'm not going to use all of the AI. I'm going to be putting my own tone and twist on it. But it's helped me be so much faster.
Yeah, some people were opposed to telephones when they came out. Some people were opposed to cars when they came out. Some people are still opposed to airplanes. They'd rather use their bicycle. I'm okay with them wanting to use their bicycle. They're just not going to get very far. So if you don't want to change with the times, you don't want to embrace technology, don't embrace technology. You're using AI whether you like it or not. Every smartphone has AI built into it. So question is, are you using it in a way that will help you make money, or are you just going to wait for the time to pass and then hope for the best? Hope is a great thing. It's just not a great strategy. If we don't evolve, we die.
Yeah, that is so true. Joe, I love the book that you wrote about high energy purpose. A lot of people struggle with the purpose, and you mentioned there were 3 phases: the awareness, strategies, and accountability. Can you briefly touch on those?
Yeah, so the first step is you're not going to have awareness or even think about purpose if you don't have your basic human needs met. There are certain basic human needs that you need. You need security, you need water, you need sleep. If you don't have sleep and water, if you don't have security, you're not even going to think about purpose or even have any level of awareness or self-awareness. You can't. You're like an animal. You just have instinct and you're trying to survive. You don't know where your next food's going to come. But if you're set for life and you're guaranteed to have a good life. You have security, you live in a good home, you have all the money that you need, you have all the food that you need, you have all the sex that you need. Your life is great. You have everything that you need and you feel fulfilled and good. What's the next step? How are you going to feel fulfilled next? You're going to have to find awareness. You're going to have to take your step to the next level. But in order to have awareness, you need other things. You need strategy. You need to figure out, okay, what do my emotions feel? What is my body? What is my emotions? What are my thoughts? Like really figuring out a plan for yourself to be able to know what you want to do, understanding the difference between doing and being, understanding the different roles you play in your life and having a strategy for each, and then having accountability to take the right actions. Ultimately, at the end of the day, even meditation is an action that you have to take. So if we don't take the right actions, exercise, meditate, write, read, journal, enjoy life, take a moment to express joy, express gratitude, all those are actions. And if you don't have the accountability to do those actions, you're not going to get those strategies executed and you're never going to really have that awareness. You cannot have awareness if you don't have peace. You need to have some peace in order to be able to create that awareness. But if you can do that, if you can step away and start seeing what you cannot see, then you'll be able to expand your perspective, which will expand your ability to impact other people.
Ah, that's so powerful. That's what you just said. Yeah, that's so true. Do you meditate every day?
Every day. I meditate every day. Some days I meditate for longer, and some days I meditate for shorter. But even right now, if you want to meditate, all you got to do is take a deep breath into your belly and then let it out. And I once asked somebody, I said, is it worth meditating for 2 seconds or 5 seconds? What impact does it have on you? So you know what she told me? She said, if you smell a fragrance for 1 second, what impact does it have on you? Or if you spray perfume in the air for 1 second, what impact does it have on the air? It has an impact and it's a lingering impact. Now, of course, if you spray a lot, it'll have a longer impact. If you spray a teeny, teeny spritz, it'll have a smaller impact. But even 1 second or 5 seconds meditation could be really helpful.
A lot of people don't talk about what you just said. They say, oh, at least 10 or 15 minutes. But it's just to me, it's almost like changing, breaking that pattern of whatever going on. Maybe you're stressed out, maybe you're anxious about something, or maybe you're fearful. And if you take even a few seconds, like you said, and you break that pattern, you put yourself in peace, then you can get back yourself to the awareness and able to create.
Like I said earlier, you need to have peace in order to have awareness. And if you cannot breathe, you're not going to have peace. If you don't have oxygen in your head, you're not going to be able to have any awareness. Nothing's going to work. You're going to be in fight or flight mode. you cannot relax enough in order to find purpose if you're not relaxed. So you got to take a chill pill sometimes, and that's not Tylenol.
It's meditation. It's not Tylenol.
Can do
Sure.
meditation. I mean, if you're allergic to the word meditation, you could just use breathing instead.
That is so well said. Some people, and maybe meditation has been overused in a culture lately, so that's a great point. If you just breathe, just focus on breathing. There's all kinds of breathing, box breathing, one of my favorites. And just focus on breathing. That's so awesome. I love it.
Yeah, I definitely write about box breathing in my book, High Energy Secrets, where I talk about how I lost 100 pounds and kept it off. You know, there's a guy named Wim Hof, Wimhof. I recommend everybody read his books and look at his courses. He has some really good resources about breathing. He says breathe 30 times, 3 sets of 30 times every morning, and you'll be much healthier than you are. So you breathe in like that. You do that 30 times, and then you breathe in, you breathe everything out, then you hold it as long as you can, and then you breathe in one large breath, then you hold that as long as you can. And you do that 3 sets of 30. Only takes about a few minutes to do that. And your whole day is very different. You get like a shot. It's like getting a shot of like positivity and happiness.
Wow, that's amazing. I'm so happy you brought it up so people can be aware of that and work and do that. Only takes a couple of minutes. So, like you said, if you don't want to meditate, just breathe.
Yeah,
But
you could breathe in and out 30 times, then breathe out all the way and then hold it, and then breathe in all the way and hold it. And you do that 3 times in the morning as soon as you get up, and you're going to feel very, very different throughout the day.
Joe, what would you say to people that want to become speakers and kind of promote not maybe
You got
starting
to
from
practice. Yeah, if
practice?
you want to become a speaker, you got to practice. The more you do it, the more opportunities you get to do it. I mean, I'm speaking right now, get on podcasts, interview people. Make sure that you're actually doing speaking engagements. The more you do it, the better you'll get. In the beginning, you'll suck at it, like I sucked at it in the beginning, and then eventually you get better and better and better. Then you can join organizations like the National Speakers Association. You can join Toastmasters. There's a lot of groups that can support your speaking, but ultimately focus on one topic that you're going to speak on and really become an expert at speaking at that topic. So, for example, for a long time, I just spoke about LinkedIn. Now I'm really focused on speaking about artificial intelligence. But I have dozens of other topics I can talk on. But when I'm going out looking for speaking engagements, right now I'm just looking for speaking engagements on AI. If somebody needs me to speak on LinkedIn, I'll be happy to do that. Someone just booked me for the end of the year to speak on LinkedIn. But most of the time when I'm going out, the same as the target market, pick what you're going to be talking on and focus on that, and then you can build a really good speech around that.
So one or two key speeches, preferably one to start with, right?
Yeah, focus. I would say even on one. Focus on one talk that you give. Don't even do two. Focus on one. Where focus goes, energy flows. Get really good at one talk and then promote that talk. Get out there, do it as often as possible, and see what happens.
What's, in your opinion, the most important thing to do to scale the business if you're at a certain level and feel stuck?
I would say get the right people to help you, whether it's a coach, whether it's an assistant, whether it's staff, whether it's an agency, get people to help you. If you're stuck, you need help from the outside. The answer is not going to be in the inside because what created the problem, which is your inside, is not going to be able to solve it.
So if people being at the same level, let's say 100 grand a year or whatever the case might be,
Get a
for a
coach. Get a
couple,
coach. Get a coach that can get you to 250. Get a coach that can get you to 1 million. Get a coach. Invest in a coach. Coaches are not cheap. It's going to be expensive. You can find ones for 200 bucks a month, like joining our mastermind group, our AI circle, or you could find ones that are $10,000 a month, like Tony Robbins. But you could find a coach that will help you based on what you could afford, what your level is, and that will help you succeed.
that's interesting. I've asked a lot to this. Like once you get stuck, you need outside help, and there's
I
just
mean, if you're sick and you don't know what to do and you're laying in bed, you don't know what to do, what advice would you give that person?
you need to call the doctor, right?
Call a doctor, of course, right? But when you're sick and your business is sick and it's not working, where do you go? You're like, I don't know, go to Google. No, you go to a doctor, go to a coach, go to someone that will help you. Go to somebody that have been there already and ask them for their advice. And they're also going to tell you, go to a coach, pay for a coach. Invest in yourself. You're willing to pay for rent, but you're not willing to pay for a coach. I would pay for a coach before I pay for rent.
Because at the end of the day, isn't it helping you your purpose once you know what that is?
Now, I'm not even a business coach, so I don't even coach people on business, but I coach people on how to use AI to grow their business. I coach people on how to use LinkedIn or train them. But getting a good business coach will help you be able to see your blind spots. The reason why they're called blind spots is because you can't see them.
You can't see them yourself. That's why you feel stuck. And that could be anything. It could be emotional, like you said. It could be like a certain part of your business where automation, when people need help with, or it could be sales because they don't feel like selling, which selling is actually service, as long as they have the right message. That's what it seems to. A lot of people are afraid to say. They're just terrified. Why do you think it is?
Yeah, people are terrified. I mean, it's normal to be terrified. If you haven't done something before, you're going to be terrified when doing it. It's simple as that. That's the way it works. If you haven't done something before, it's scary to do it. It's always scary to do something for the first time. Always.
That is so true. The interesting you said that the first time I did interview, I was like, oh my God, what's the next question and how am I going to do it? And I was just like, I was literally I had the paper in front of me and was reading the questions.
Yeah.
And now I was like, okay, well, I'm not afraid anymore. And every time you said it's getting better and better and better. And that seems like also another ongoing pattern. No matter what you do, you're getting better and better and better as long as you're consistently staying was that one thing. I would say maybe two, but everybody say to start was one.
100%. Start with one and then take it from there. Highly recommend that.
You also wrote the book about networking, and that's like you can get anything you want once you create the relationship. And that seems like everybody also underlying theme that everybody feels like in order to succeed, you can't succeed by yourself. You need to build a team. You need to build partnership and collaborations.
Yeah, I mean, some people could succeed by themselves, like in the stock market or whatever it is. But, at the end of the day, is if you want to be successful in life, most of the time it has to do with finding people around you that will help you be successful. That is a lot of it. That's a big part of it, for sure.
That's why you reach out for help, whether it's like coaching or
Yeah,
collaboration on the projects, or just people you go into groups and they want to. Accountability is also what I've noticed important, no matter what you do. Yeah, coaches plays a big part of that, and accountability for sure. Yeah. Well, tell me who was your most fun client or two, and why were they fun to work with?
I would say I like working with consultants a
Okay.
lot. The reason I like working with consultants is because they actually implement the things that I teach them to do. Those are really, really fun. I also like working with engineering firms because of the way those people think in engineering firms.
Ah,
So helping me be able to create marketing funnels, but also getting their thought leadership and their information out of their head onto paper is really useful as well.
that's interesting. So more of analytical people is that you like to deal with.
Yeah, 100%. Yes.
And the people that are dedicated, with the getting stuff
Yeah, that
done.
want to execute, that actually
Ex-
take.
Execution. Here's your strategy, and they say, "Okay, we got it. We're going to execute." Love it. Joe, what was your most memorable moment in your career? Maybe it was more than one.
I would say my most memorable moment is the day that I actually started my business. I remember coming into the business and I was really scared. I was scared of just, leaving my job and starting the business. We already had a bunch of clients. I was very confident that we'd be successful, but I didn't know that I would be able to be very successful. I wanted to be very successful. But I remember how excited I was to be getting into the business, but not at the same time, not being sure what's in front of me. Like I was very, very blind at that point. And now I'm very grateful 15 years later. So that was a really important step, a really important moment.
So it was scary and exciting at the same time, huh?
Yeah, scary and exciting at the same time. Yeah.
That's usually how it goes. If you do something new, you have to take the
Yeah.
leap of faith. But you didn't just go into it. You already have skills, and you said clients. So you have
Yeah,
had a plan.
100%.
So having a plan, having support group, and once you have all those things in place, then take a leap of faith. Don't, before, do your homework. Wouldn't you agree? You need to do a little bit of your homework, get some skills, and then, okay, okay.
Yeah.
What was the most embarrassing moment in the networking, if you ever had one?
I would say um, getting to a networking event and realizing that you have your pants is ripped in the back
Wow. Yeah.
and like the whole seam is open and everyone can see your underwear. That's pretty embarrassing.
Oh, wow. Okay. Yeah, it is. And how'd you
Yeah,
handle it?
I took my jacket, put it around me like a skirt, and I went to the store and bought a new pair of pants. And then I made believe it didn't happen. I didn't sit there announcing it to everyone, like whatever, whoever saw, saw, and moving on.
So there's the lesson. No matter how embarrassing you think he was, there's always a solution, right? You just have to be creative. I love it. How
Yeah.
did that felt in that moment? Embarrassed?
I was embarrassed, didn't really help much, but found a solution, put a jacket around my waist. I walked out and I went to Macy's and I bought a new pair of pants. I came back.
Ah, it was that close. You were able to come back even. Oh my
It was
goodness.
about 15 minutes each way. Yeah, it was a long event. So yeah,
Awesome. And that's how you do it, guys. You don't get frightened or embarrassment. It's okay. You just solve the problem, create solution, and you're done. What is the best strategy for networking when you don't know anybody? You're walking in the room and you're like, oh my God, I do not know anyone in this room.
I wrote a book called High Energy Networking. So what I would do is I would first, when you walk into the room, look around and see if anybody's standing by themselves.
Ah,
Some people are standing by themselves. Walk over to those people because the last thing you want to do is you want to interrupt a conversation as soon as you walk in. Also realize that it takes some time to get warmed up to the room. Just like when you put a fish in new water, it takes some time for that fish to get used to the water. So you need to get used to the water. You need to get used to the networking event. That means that don't try to talk to people right away because you're discombobulated. You're not even settled or grounded. So maybe go straight to the bar, get a drink. Maybe go to the water fountain, get a soda, get a drink or something, and then start drinking and look around and feel the energy. If you get really present and you focus on your breath and you don't have an agenda and you look around, you're going to see where the opportunity is for you. Sometimes somebody will walk over to you. Sometimes you'll see somebody by themselves. I like talking to the event organizers because they are responsible to make sure that everybody's happy. So I'll walk over to the person that works there and say, who should I talk to? This is what I do for a living. And they'll usually make an introduction to someone in the room. And then you walk over to that person. And when you're done talking to that person, you say, who else should I talk to based on you knowing what I do now for a living? And they'll point out one or two people. Or if they don't say, I don't know who you should talk to, you could say, who's an interesting person that you know here that you think would be interesting for me to have a conversation with? Who's the most influential person in the room? Who's the nicest person in the room? So ask them questions and they'll make intros. I did that to a networking event in an industry that I'm not familiar with that I randomly went to. Somebody invited me on LinkedIn and I went there. I knew nobody in the room besides the organizer that invited me. I walked in, I asked the organizer who I should meet. She pointed one person out. I asked that person who I should meet. He pointed two people out. I asked those people, they pointed four people out. And before you know it, every person in the room had a conversation with me. And it only took an hour and a half. That's very, very powerful.
there you heard it from the networking expert, ladies and gentlemen. That's how to do it. So when you talk with them at the end, how do you usually end the conversation?
Well, I would recommend them to read High Energy Networking, especially if you read it. Buy
Yeah.
High Energy Networking at highenergynetworking.com and say, hey, listen, if you want to improve your networking skills, I'm happy to send you this link.
Okay.
What's your cell phone number? Or let's stay in touch. Do you want to connect on LinkedIn? Pull out your LinkedIn app, click on the search box. You'll see a little QR code box. That's a really powerful tool to use at a networking event. Pull up your LinkedIn QR code that's inside the LinkedIn app in the search box. And what you're going to quickly find is that when somebody scans that QR code with their camera, it goes right into their LinkedIn app opens up your profile, and now you know who they are. Now they visited your profile. When someone visits your profile on LinkedIn, you do know who they are. So that's a powerful networking tool. Ask them for permission to connect, send them a connection request, make sure they accept it, and then say, let's be in touch. If you really like somebody, get their cell phone number, get their email, send them a cell phone message right then and there, a text message, send them an email right then and there, take a selfie with them, send them the photo of you two, and then take it from there. Those are the things how I would finish a conversation.
That's awesome. I love to connect through LinkedIn. Often when I go to a networking event, to me that's even better than exchange. I mean, yeah, I will still exchange the cards, but I think that's even more powerful. I do that very often. I love that you pointed out. And you know what? I forget to take the pictures. But that's so powerful. That's what I'm missing. I
Set a
love it.
goal. Set a goal to take 5 pictures at the next event. So before you go to the event, write down your goals, take 5 pictures, and then look at your goals during the event, and you're going to have that as one of your goals. And then you could even post that you have that goal online, and then later follow up with the pictures that you took.
That is so awesome. You guys, this is golden. Set your goals before you go to networking event. And if that's taking 5 pictures, you take them and then put them online. Awesome, awesome event. This is the people we met and tag them, right? They will love that. This is awesome. And I think to me, what I get when I get in the room and I don't know anybody, I just see who smiles more. Maybe it's just me.
Yeah. Some people just want to see who's crying more.
Yeah, well, that's true. But going to the organizer and ask them for introduction, that's also excellent. I love everything you said. Is there anything else you want to add that will be helpful that I couldn't think of asking that will be very beneficial for people, especially the people that want to get into business and kind of been thinking about it maybe for a couple of years, and they're saying, oh, it's not a good time, oh, it's not a good time, especially now. So the people that try to get into business and just kind of not stayed in it long enough or didn't talk to many people, what would you advise to those type of people?
I would say start having conversations with more people. That's what I would say. Don't worry about the people that say no to you. There's going to be a lot of people that say no to you. Start having conversations with more people. I like having 5 conversations a day. I use LinkedIn to have 5 conversations a day. If you want to learn how to do that, I'm happy to teach you how to do that. You can join our course and our coaching program, and we teach people how to have 5 conversations a day. But have more conversations. The more conversations you have, the more you try to help people, the more likely you're going to get help as well.
This is great. More conversation. At the end of the day, just have more conversation and see it as a game, almost like fun, like you're having fun. And it doesn't take 30 people a day. 5 people a day is doable. I believe it is. It adds up, isn't it?
Yes.
Awesome. Yeah. Well, anything else? Of you have so much wisdom. It's just incredible.
My final words are that you are the average of the 5 people you spend the most time with. So make sure that you upgrade your network if you want to upgrade your net worth. And then think about the support circle that you have. Who are in the support circle? Who are the people that you appreciate? Who are the authors that you're going to reach out to? Reach out to authors, build relationships, and you'll have more success. Thank you very much.
Awesome. That's great. And we will how is the best way to connect? You mentioned it already throughout the interview.
You go to joelinkedin.com, Joe, linkedin.com. You can see my LinkedIn profile. Make sure that you mention Jeannie's podcast. And also, you can check out my AI at evyai.com. Check out the tool, use it, and enjoy it.
Awesome. And we'll put I'll put the links in the show notes. And it's awesome to connect with you. I appreciate your time and your wisdom and all you're doing for community and writing amazing books and creating the softwares and helping people to be the best they can be and see it as a well-rounded people. The biggest thing for me and what you started was you have to be a well-rounded. You have to drink enough water, take a deep breath, and just be you and find that peace first. I just love it.
Love it. Yeah, thank you so much. Really appreciate it. We'll talk again soon.
Thank you. We'll talk again soon. Bye-bye.
Looking forward. Bye.
Bye-bye. As we wrap up, thanks to Joe Apfelbaum for the high energy insights on networking, purpose, and leveraging LinkedIn for your business success. Are you ready to own your journey? Let's do this. Stay tuned for more dynamic conversations with influential thought leaders on Jenny's Way. Don't forget to like, subscribe, share your thoughts below, and keep the conversation alive. Until next time, keep the energy high, pursue your purpose, and make your mark. See you!